Hello, I'm Graham Horton and welcome to this video. Now today's video is again a product review for you, and it's for a rather interesting wireless microphone from a company called Maono. This is the wireless lavalier Wave T5, and the box says it's the #1 best-selling internet microphone worldwide, so that's a claim they've made and hopefully they'll back that up. Now this is a combo kit, which means it supports both mirrorless cameras and smartphones, but you can get this as a smartphone only operation. The combo kit was the one that was sent to me for review for you, but as usual my reviews are fully independent. I'm not told what to say, what I can't say. All the opinions expressed in this video are my own, and if there are any issues with it, you'll get to hear about them in this video. I'll put timestamps in the actual video description so you can just hop to the areas that you might be interested in, but we will be covering things like the unboxing, a look at the specifications. As this is a pro level microphone system which supports 24-bit audio, let's look at the difference between standard 16-bit CD audio and what this can deliver at 24 bits. We'll also look at some audio performance and an outdoor range test. So just hop through to any timestamp that you want if you're looking to purchase this particular microphone. So let's start to unbox this, and I'll show you all the component parts that you get with this particular kit. So this is the box that you get if you purchase the product. This is the combo kit, which supports both mirrorless and smartphone devices. On the back of the box you'll find some information about the AI technology used in noise reduction, the fact that this is Super CD audio recording, and all the other things like 1,000-foot outdoor line of sight, transmission distances, and voice tuning. So lots to look at in this particular model. Inside the packaging you'll find lots more information about the product itself, how to set it up, the actual packaging list for the combo and for the versatile version, and then the user manual, which gives you all instructions as to how to set this up. You'll also find in there a pouch, and in that pouch you'll find other components such as the USB-A to USB-C lead for charging and firmware update, 2 lanyards to allow you to clip the transmitters to these and put them around your neck, or you can use the clips to hold them to your shirt or tie, whichever. There are 2 wind muffs which will fit onto the disc transmitters. Word about these later in the video. There's also the clamshell case, which is a hard case which then supports the main microphone and accessories itself. So inside here you've got the usual clamshell. In the lid we've got the connection lead for the combo, which is a TRS to TRS for your mirrorless cameras. We've also got a USB-C to USB-C, so you can connect the receiver to your camera if you've got USB-C input. In the docking station we do have a inbuilt lithium-ion battery which provides charge for the 2 transmitters inside the case, and also for the receiver, which is part of the combo kit, which will go on to your mirrorless or DSLR camera. So we've got the 2 disc transmitters and the combo receiver for the microphones. In the case you'll also find 2 receivers. One has got the old Apple Lightning plug, which supports all cameras up to iPhone 15, and then the USB-C, which supports the iPhone 15 through 17 currently. You'll also find 2 clips, which I find quite difficult to get out of this case. There's not much finger room. 2 magnetic clips which will go onto the back of the transmitters, so you could actually clip these to your shirt or jumper to get the right mouth to transmitter distance. So that's the component parts. Let's have a look now at the specifications for this particular product. I want to briefly run through the specifications for the Wave T5 wireless lavalier system, and it's a 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. Microphones are omnidirectional with a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, so the full audio spectrum there. Maximum sound pressure level is 120 dBSL. The dynamic range is 93 decibels, and I guess that's due to the fact that this is a 24-bit recording system. Typically 16-bit will only have just over 70 decibel range. Signal to noise is greater than 80 decibels, so again with that 24-bit recording we've got more dynamic range. Maximum wireless transmission range is quoted to be 300 meters line of sight and 100 meters where the transmitter and receiver are blocked. In my range test I achieved nothing like that, and you'll see that later in the video as to where the non-line of sight blocked after about 25 meters. So again, you'll lose some audio quality if the receiver and transmitter become blocked. The transmitter has 3.8 lithium-ion batteries with 97 milliamp hour capacity, and they'll run for around about 10 hours, and they'll charge in about 1.5 hours. The actual transmitters themselves are a disc of 27 millimeters diameter and weigh just 9 grams, so very light and easy to wear. So in the case with the lid open, you can see the charging status. On the front of the charging case will give you an indication of the remaining charge in the internal lithium-ion battery. But when you take these out of the case, they pair instantly with the receiver, and then you can start to use it. Having a look at the actual microphones themselves, you can see it's just a 27mm disc of about 10mm thickness, including the magnet on the back. The omnidirectional microphone on the top there. We've got two buttons. One is a mute button and the other is the power on off and noise reduction enable. On the top of the device there's a single LED which tells the status of pairing and also whether the noise reduction is enabled. Very simple. At the bottom you've got the contacts that meet with the pogo pins in the charging case to provide charging for the internal lithium-ion battery. The actual combo receiver, which will go onto your mirrorless camera, has a clip which will fit into the hot shoe. We've got USB-C for charging and firmware upgrade. We've also got a switch for stereo or mono, the output port here for the 3.5mm TRS output to your camera. We've also got on top a rotating knob, and that sets 3 levels of gain for the microphone: low, medium and high. With using this on a camera, you've got the option there of switching between mono and stereo. However, if you're using the smartphone system, the only way to get from mono to stereo is to use the Maono link app. Download that to your smartphone device and it gives you access to a lot of the microphone parameters which give you better recording facilities, so you can change between mono and stereo. You've also got things in there like voice filters, so you can change the way that the voice is recording. Saves a little bit of timing post-production if you like that sort of thing. You can change the level of noise reduction from slight to moderate to advanced. And you've got then the 14 levels of noise reduction which you can individually tailor to your own particular needs. So let's set this up and have a look at some of the audio quality you can expect. At the moment I'm using another disc microphone, and that's just under my jumper. One I reviewed several weeks ago from a company called Niwa, and this is their KM18. It's an equivalent, if you like. It's a 24-bit recording system, very much similar to this Maono Wave T5. Let me set this up and let's listen to some of the audio quality from this system. Okay, let's look at these in a little bit more detail now. The transmitters, as I said before, measure 21mm across and about 10mm thick. You can see on here I put a label, and they provide you with a number of labels with different legends on them. I've put one black on white, which is my notation for channel 2, and here you can see I've got white on black, which is my notation for channel 1. Although you can see that on the receiver that you've got one blue light if you're using channel 1, or the other light if you're using channel 2. When you break them both out of the charging box, both of the blue lights are on, so you're not exactly sure which is channel 1 and channel 2. So that was my way of determining which was channel 1. So if I only want one microphone, I can use channel 1. So at the moment we are looking at the recording from this device with no noise cancellation and in the mono mode. So channel 1 is providing the signal for both left and right channels, so you're getting mono across both channels. So at the moment we are recording 44.1 kilohertz and 24 bits with no noise reduction and in the mono mode. So I'm going to switch over to slight noise reduction, and I'll do that just by pressing the button on this transmitter. I'm just going to turn this on, but my channel 2 is set to off at the moment, so let me just disable that. So we've got a red light on the receiver, which means that channel 2 is muted anyway, but we are only using channel 1 to produce both the waveforms. So I'm going to turn on noise reduction, and it is on both channels. So if you select channel 2, it would actually put noise reduction on channel 1 as well. So a single press on the lower button gives me a green light on the receiver, and I know though that I have got slight noise reduction enabled. To enable it to go to the second level, you need to go into the app to enable you to change the slight to moderate. So I'll just pause the recording and I'll change the noise reduction. It's called moderate, which is the second level of noise reduction. So here we're recording a sample audio with that moderate noise reduction. So we're now in the aggressive noise reduction mode, which should reduce any background noise. But what I'm interested in listening to is the reduction in the audio quality. There's normally some reduction in audio quality when you switch in these noise reduction modes. So it'll be interesting just to see what that reduction is. Now I found that I prefer to do noise reduction in post-production. It allows you to specify exactly which components you want to remove. But allegedly this AI noise reduction program is smart enough to be able to reduce noise in the background. Now I did some sample tests outdoors against a waterfall, and I'll play them before you now, and you can hear the effects of noise reduction on the background noise coming from that waterfall. So I'm at my second location now, just adjacent to a waterfall. Might just be able to see the top of it in the background. At the moment I've got this microphone set to mono mode, so the sound is coming across both channels from channel 1, which is mounted here on my shirt. So we're going to take the camera a lot closer to the waterfall to see how noise reduction works. At the moment I've got noise reduction off. The only noise reduction is wind reduction by use of this windshield on the microphone. Let's take this a lot closer to the waterfall and you'll see just how noisy that waterfall can be. Just to reiterate, I'm here at the side of a waterfall. We're going to test out noise reduction on this Wave T5 microphone system. At the moment we're using just channel 1, which is set to give us a mono signal across channel 1 and channel 2. So I'm going to enable noise reduction, and again that's just a press of the noise reduction button on the side of the microphone. When you press the button, it enables noise reduction to the level that you set in the app associated with this camera. So at the moment it's in level 1, the lowest level. Let me enable noise reduction. If that's one of the complaints I've got about this system and all the others of these disc microphone types, is to install the wind cover is quite a long-winded process. They are very slippy, the microphone is slippy, and you find that you're having to struggle to get them on. But I have now achieved that, and we're in the noise reduction level 1. I can see we've got a green LED on the receiver, so you should be able to hear any noise reduction I've got. So with noise reduction now enabled, you should be able to hear a reduction in the background noise of this waterfall. This is a rather grueling test because it's quite a large waterfall. I just wanted to see how well it can manage that. I'm going to go to level 2 and we'll see how that reduces the noise in the background. So I've now enabled moderate noise reduction. So this is level 2 of the noise reduction facility available within the app. So you can actually hear any reduction in noise with moderate noise reduction enabled. For completeness of test, we'll go to the advanced stage here where we've got the full noise reduction applied in the custom, and I'm going to set it to maximum. So now I've enabled the custom noise reduction mode and I've set the level to 14, which is the highest level of noise reduction available within this app. So with noise reduction turned on, we've got the full benefit of AI noise reduction. And let's just hear if it's reduced any of the waterfall noise in the background. And we're now just looking at the voice filters, and the first one is vocal enhancement. So hopefully that is improving our vocal quality of this recording. So this is the first filter, vocal enhancement. I'll switch over to the second level and we'll see how that sounds. So this is the second of the voice filters, and it's the one called brighten. So presumably this is lifting the high frequency end to give you a brighter look. So this is the opposite of the brightness filter. It's the one called warm. So presumably this is boosting the lower frequencies to give you that warm tone. So this is the third of the voice filters, the one called warm. So this is the last of the voice filters, and it's the one they call huskiness. So presumably this is adding some sort of modulation to the voice to make it sound a little bit more husky. So this is the final of the voice filters, the one called huskiness. Well, we've heard now the effect of noise reduction and of the vocal filters. So it's time for my summary of what I feel about the Maono Wave T5 wireless lavalier microphone system. Well, there's no doubt the audio quality is superb, even with the noise reduction turned off. I think you're getting very good audio quality from this device. The other thing are these wind muffs, which are designed to go over the transmitters to allow you to use them in windy environments, but they are a little tricky to install, especially outside, and if you've got cold fingers, these are going to be a nightmare. The transmitters are slippy, the fur is slippy, and it's difficult to find the opening to enable you to fit them together. So it took me about 5 minutes yesterday trying to get both of those fur covers on both microphones. You see, I'm struggling to get them on now. So the fact that they are round and the cover's round and they're slippy makes them difficult to attach. Another thing I might like to see enabled is the changing level of noise reduction via the push button on the transmitter. At the moment it only can turn it on or off. If you want to go from slight to moderate, you need to go into the app to change that. I don't think it's enabled by double click or triple click of the button on the transmitter. So that might be a firmware upgrade or a software upgrade for a future possibility. They are truly plug and play. Once you bring them out of that charging dock, they're ready to go and you're getting great audio quality from them from the start. With the combo kit, you do get the receiver, which allows you to use a 3.5mm TRS output into your camera. And I use my Canon EOS M6 Mark II with this device to capture some audio outside, and I'll insert that audio video for you now. For completeness of this test, as this is the combo kit that was sent to me by Maono for review, I thought we'd test this out on the Canon EOS M6 Mark II, and we've got the 3.5mm receiver plugged into the mic inputs of the Canon camera, and again it's connected over 3.5mm TRS cable. Got control on the receiver for the mic levels, so you can actually set the mic level, and obviously in conjunction with the preamp of the Canon EOS camera. So this is an audio test with this without noise reduction on the Canon EOS M6 Mark II. Now going to enable noise reduction just to see what the reduction in audio quality is when we do that. Indeed, it has gone green, so we're now using the noise reduction mode on the transmitter just to see what the audio quality is like with noise reduction enabled, and this is in the slight mode. This is mode level 1. So an audio test using this mic system outdoors with the Canon EOS M6 Mark II. If you want to look at the differences between 16-bit and 24-bit, 16-bit and 44.1 kHz was the old standard for recording to CDs. So we've been quite happy with CD audio quality, so we should be quite happy with 16-bit audio quality from the likes of digital microphones, etc. Now 44.1 is an interesting frequency, as that was determined to be the optimum frequency for a audio range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Nyquist determined by experimentation that something just over 2 times the maximum audio frequency was ideal for sampling the waveforms to create a digital value. So 44.1 was chosen as the optimum recording level. Some systems use 48 kHz, and if you're using your iPhone, for example, and recording digital video, you'll find that the audio is actually recorded at 48 kHz, not 44.1. 16-bit gives you 65,535 samples of a audio waveform. So between 0 and 65,535, all those discrete levels allow you to build up an accurate picture of the actual waveform that's being sampled. The 44.1 kHz means there are 44,100 samples of the waveform taken every second, so it's quite a high resolution in order to capture the shape of an audio waveform. And that 65,535 individual steps gives us an accurate waveform of the audio that's being presented to the analog to digital converter. If you use anything less than 16 bits, then the steps between each value are greater, and therefore the precision at which that analog value is being converted to a digital value isn't as good. So with 16 bits, you're probably getting great audio anyway. But the sound engineers decided to push that to 24 bits. And you're getting over 16 million now of the samples between 0 and the maximum. If you're recording an audio waveform, the audio waveform height stays the same. It's just the number of individual steps between 0 and the maximum that are being interpolated and given a digital value. So for every 1 second of audio captured, there are going to be 44,100 individual digital values representing the shape of the waveform being presented to the analog digital converter. It's unlikely that you'll be able to hear the difference between 16-bit and 24-bit. And bearing in mind that even when you've created your file in 24-bit, when you put that into your digital camera, for example, you'll probably end up with that recorded at 16-bit anyway. So you're starting off with a high resolution, but then you're downsampling that to 16 bits in most cases. There could be some quantization errors in doing that, so the audio quality may not be quite as good as recording directly in 16-bit, but that will depend on the accuracy of the analog to digital converters. So in a nutshell, 24-bit audio gives you more precision, more digital headroom, if you like, between the lowest and highest peaks, and gives you the most accurate rendition of the digital waveform. So if you like, in a nutshell, the 24-bit gives you a higher resolution of the audio waveform that's being captured and digitized, so we can save it as a file. But rest assured, 16-bit is good enough for most applications. And so this is my fourth test of the outdoor range test. I cannot achieve anything like the specifications for this product, either for the 300 meters unobstructed vision or the 100 meters with the transmitter and receiver obstructed. So we're going to try it one more time with a different environment and make sure that I'm not being influenced by the areas that I've been testing this in. So you can see here I've got a pathway, and each of these posts are exactly 6 feet apart. So I'm going to walk with the transmitter, which is on my front here. We're going to be obstructing first of all, so I should be able to get to 100 meters, which is 300 feet, which is way past the curve of these trees. So we should be able to get that distance easily. I'll turn around every 10 posts, which is going to be every 60 feet, and give a direct line of sight from the transmitter to the receiver, and we should get some audio even if it's broken out. So I'm going to start off from base 0. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 60 feet line of sight now, so we should be getting good audio. But according to the specifications, with an obstructed view, you should be still getting great audio. So I'm going to turn my back one more time. So this is 60 feet with obstructed. And we'll carry on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I'll turn around. So that is 120 feet. That's line of sight at the moment. So again, we should be getting good audio. That's 120 feet. I'll turn my back. 120 feet obstructed view. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 180 feet direct field of view. So again, we should be getting good audio. 180 feet obstructed view. Carrying on. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's 240 feet. 240 feet line of sight. So again, we should be getting good audio, as this is good for 1,000 feet. Turn around, 240 feet obstructed. Carrying on. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I wouldn't want to be outdoors and leaving the camera set up at this sort of distance, so I'm going to head my way back, coming back to the camera. So hopefully this test has validated the fact that you can get up to 180 feet at least obstructed vision of the wireless and the receiver, and you should be getting great audio at that distance. So my fear is that it's something like 20 to 40 feet with an obstructed vision that you're going to lose the audio, and the fact that these haven't got built-in recording systems, you will have lost your audio at that point. So it's better to keep within the distance and not risk losing your audio. So I've absolutely no qualms in actually recommending these to any content creator who wants great audio for their productions. I put links in the product description as to the purchase for these devices, whether you want the combo kit if you're going to be using this with a DSLR, or you just want the straightforward smartphone kit to enable you to use this with either your Android or iOS devices. So that's it for this review. Thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to stop by and have a look at this. And thanks again to Maono for sending out this for me to review for you. So until my next video, thanks very much for watching. Please do take care, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.